Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Shadowrun Hong Kong. So yeah, last time we made friends with a vampire. Mm, we had a few jobs. is the... Walk away. Funding. No, we're looking. 1756. Tell me what you've seen. Sting. Let's see if we can get any shotguns. Need a data jack for that. Alright, now I need boomsticks. Good there as well. New weapons. And forged katana, 1950. West Combat 5. There's anything I need in particular. For this mission. Hmm. Hmm. They're becoming more robot. I also need to talk to the girl. Ambrose lies limp in his wheelchair while his spider drone tinkers delicately on a huge bionic lower leg, which appears to be attached to a dismembered troll thigh. Ambrose reanimates as you draw near. River, I'm just doing some delicate work here. Just reaching a good point to pause, actually. Okay, what's up? What are you doing? Is that someone's leg? It will be. It's a vac-grown biological upper on a cybernetic lower. I'm merging the two together. It's going to give this poor guy the upper leg he wants back, with the lower leg he needs. His voice is hushed. You're interested, huh? Okay, check this out. I'll be back. Ambrose goes limp. Half a dozen robotic arms suddenly pulse in a balletic surge of activity, working on the leg, bristling with needles, scalpels, forceps, microsolders, glue, and various other tools. For several minutes, there is no sound but quiet clicking and the hum of machinery. When the work is complete, the slender robotic arms draw back. They hover near the ceiling, around the operating area, like giant attentive stick bugs. Ambrose's eyes flutter back open. He continues talking, hardly skipping a beat. This guy works in the tunnels, with his feet in sewage all day. He got some kind of flesh-eating trench rot. Went right up his leg. Nearly killed him. They had to amputate at the hip. I'm giving him back his upper leg, but using a chrome lower leg so it won't happen again. Pretty cool, Ambrose. This is nothing. You should see what they're doing in research now. Growing tissue so it interweaves with the mechanical matrices. Wild shit like that. Supposedly they can now genotype a fetus in the first trimester, take a stem cell from it and grow upgraded organs for it from the start of the third trimester. And then implant them in utero and still have a natural birth. It's incredible. It's the start of superhumans. Speaking of super metahumans, I bet you're not here to talk about this leg. So beware. I installed that on. I don't need ARM installs. Don't have enough for the encephalon. Right. Save up for the monofilament whip. Let's install that into the eyes. And becoming more and more robotic. A heavy scent buffets your senses. The scent of pure, unadulterated book. Woody, musky, dusty. Light, herbal incense from before seems like an afterthought in the wake of paper smell. Looking around, you see that the shopkeeper has abandoned her earlier feeble attempts at organizing the texts. Several of the towers of books are now reduced to piles on the ground. A piece of paper caught somehow in a ceiling rafter rustles gently above you. Hello? Anyone home? You hear a shuffling of papers, and an arm rolls out from under a pile of blankets and books, and Crafty raises her head, a notebook spread open on top of it. The book topples to the floor. Oh, hey, her voice cracks. Crafty clears her throat with a cough, stumbles out of her pile. Her voice is clear when she speaks again. Sorry about the mess. I was up all night reading. Or rather, up every night reading. She stretches. You look dog tired. Feeling alright? Well, Crafty lets out a single sharp laugh. I've been better, that's what you mean. Going through these notebooks has been hard. Not just because of the sheer amount of information. It's been a nostalgic ride too. Why don't you take a break? No way. I've dug myself too deep to back out now. And I don't say that as a bad thing. I've made progress. I'm proud of that. She leans on a book-covered chair. The sooner I figure out these dreams, the sooner I can rest. And trust me, Riva, I'll make up for it in spades and naps. And if that's your plan, remember to pace yourself. You won't get anything done if you become sick. You make a good point. I appreciate the advice, but don't worry, it's not a total slog. These journals are just as exciting as they are laborious. So what's the latest? Latest. She walks over to a glass table and starts tossing books off of it. As she digs through them, you realize the table is not actually a table, but a glass display case full of dried medicinal ingredients. Crafty withdraws a notebook from the pile, its binding unraveling, and the pages holding on for dear life. Here we go. This one's loaded. Give me the highlights. Got a couple of big finds. Mum's notes are a mess, so I boiled them down to the most important information. An exorcism and the Yama Kings. Where do you want to start? Tell me about the exorcism. She flips through the notebook and, after locating the right page, she lays the book on the counter. Her index finger glides across the notes as she summarizes its contents. On one of Mum's trips to the walled city, she decided to check out an archway, an old crumbling relic that residents believed to be haunted. Mum wasn't sure about the hauntings, but upon entering the area, she immediately felt that it was a place of concentrated chi. I know someone who's mentioned that same arch. She's from the walled city. Crafty looks up from the notebook. I'd believe that. It's a fairly prominent landmark. Seems to me like most people from the walled city would at least have heard of it, if not seen it. What did she say? I can boil it down to creepy. Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. At least from what my mother wrote, it was seriously bad. Alright, go on. The chi wasn't like your standard run-of-the-mill energy. Even for the walled city, this chi was exceptionally dark, and it all seemed to gravitate toward the arch. So she did what any cook of her magic brand would try, a Taoist exorcism. How did that go? It went to hell. The exorcism failed and something happened to her. She broke. Crafty takes a deep breath through her nose. My mother entered the city strong, confident, and capable. But when she left that day, it's hard to explain. It's as if the experience left her vulnerable to those base horrors within the walled city. She grew paranoid and became frail of mind and body, a mere shadow of her former self. It's as if she'd witnessed something, and it changed her. She became more obsessed than ever, and that's how I remember her now, as that broken woman. I'm not sure how this fits into our investigation, but if that sort of malevolence is coursing through the walled city, it's no wonder the people who lived there experienced such terrible dreams. I'd like to know about the Yama Kings. Crafty turns to a page marked with a red sticky note. She looks up at you. Tell me, how much do you know about the Yama Kings? I've run across stories about them in my own research. Personally, I'd only heard about the Yama Kings in fables and myths. Things to scare children to sleep, to inspire awe. As you can guess, intimate knowledge about imaginary beings is largely non-existent. And here, she taps the page. We've found the demons of the walled city. Through my mother's excursions into the slum, she came to learn that its residents had their own unique Yama Kings, different from the traditional ones. The people there are segregated from the rest of Hong Kong. Over time, they came to believe that their home was possessed by local demons. Makes sense in considering the place's penchant for crime and disaster. Do their Yama Kings have names? There were three that Mum knew of: Lam Vai, Fu Mang, and Chian Ya. Each Yama King is associated with the negative energy on which they feed. Lam Vai feeds on cowards, Fu Mang from the guilty, and Chiang Ya slaves. Unfortunately, my mother's handwriting declined with her sanity. She rubs her forehead in frustration. She has a lot of details in here about these local Yama Kings, but I can only make out bits and parts. There's a list, something here about her mouth twists sideways and her eyes squint, straining to read the notes. Rules? Maybe laws of some sort? The thing that stood out to me is here. She plops a finger onto the page. It's about the propriety surrounding ownership in deals, exchanges, negotiations, luncheons? No, that last part can't be right. Anyway, it says the Yama Kings, under rules or laws, must adhere to the terms of a deal. There's something else, but she sighs and flips the paper onto the counter. No, sorry, can't read anything past that. You know, it's strange to me that Mum found these mystical beings significant enough to mention in her documents. It makes me wonder if she thought they were real or connected to the curse that she believed in. A thump and Crafty closes the notebook. She casually tosses it back onto the display case. It's not the best lead, but I think that it's a step in the right direction. Alright. And talk to everybody from that last mission. We're taking Gobbet, Rakta, and Isabel. Duncan. Rakta. Central Hong Kong spills out along Victoria Harbour, all glittering chrome and neon flash against the night's darkness. The skyscrapers are a jagged nest of mirrored knives thrust into the sky, rending the clouds as they descend into the heavens. The Ares Asia Holdings complex squats menacingly over Cheddar Road, a steel and concrete tumor intertwined with nearby buildings in a web of sky bridges and shared parking structures. Make your way inside and descend to the 5th floor, a public foyer that connects to the restricted areas of the complex. As the elevator opens, you arrive in cold, dimly lit reception area. Beyond it, Your quarry awaits. We will take that. We won't be using that till the end game. Okay, we should be good. Exiting the Ares Asia Holdings elevator on the 5th floor of the skyscraper complex, the antiseptic odor of the megacorporation's offices assails your nostrils. The immaculately detailed interior space speaks volumes of the wealth and control the North American industrial giant has come to wield over the free enterprise zone. Rakta glances at his bracer, pulling up a page of notes on Ares Asia Holdings and scrolling through it. We're looking for a lab between floor 15 and 40. Everything below 15 is shopping and recreation. The residential areas span 41 to 92. The auto repair circuits should be up there as well. I know Taylor and Hardingham. They'll keep it close to their main lab so they can work on the project in their off hours. And they'll need specialized testing equipment. Things you can't fit in an apartment. Even a big one. So everything we're looking for will be near the main lab. Yes, once we plant the altered vehicle record data, we can find the lab's precise location. From there, everything we need should be nearby. Welcome to Ares Asia Holdings, division of Ares Macro Technology. How may I assist you today? I've got a report on Jordan field testing I need to present. But you're obviously not an Ares citizen. Why would you be presenting anything? Raptor draws himself up straight, puffing his chest out as he raises his voice. I am Dr. Raptor, formerly employed by Gishin Aviaco. I was the director of drone development for over 10 years, and the drone you see is part of my latest project. He looks unsure of himself, and you can see his eyes flit to a conspicuous panic button mounted on the side of his desk, but he doesn't move. He went on the guest list. Rakta plows on, his booming voice cutting the secretary's question in half. It's a fully autonomous quadrupedal defense and attack drone with integrated fire direction data management and adaptive autosoft passing and modular weapons integration. This drone redefines bleeding edge. What's more, it has an adaptive experience registry subprogram. To it learns. The secretary blinks a few times, his eyes glazed over by Rakta's barrage of technobabble. Oh, yes, I see. That's a lot of interesting information. What should I put down on the arrival sheet then? Rakta regards the receptionist coldly and curls one corner of his mouth into a sneer. Put down that I am here to make a sales pitch. If there is any company in this world with an interest in cutting-edge combat drones, it should be Ares Macro Technology. I have a full report on field and stress tests, time to failure, and combat efficacy, and I do not like being delayed. Very well. Have a pleasant evening, Doctor. Please stay on this floor until your escort from the Drone Research Division arrives. This is a public matrix terminal for guests and visitors. Its primary functions appear to be directory and news services as well as basic email. This is also a perfect terminal for you to upload faked visitor records. Welcome to Ares Asia Holdings. Please note, all activity on public terminals is logged and recorded for security purposes. Please state your query. Search for Dr. Hardingham. Dr. Hardingham, Hardingham at _I at areasasia.hkcentral.hkfez. Advanced Drone Weaponry Division, Floor 27. Biography. Dr. Hardingham is transferred to the Hong Kong offices of Ares Asia Holdings from his previous post in London, with Ares Europe. Dr. Hardingham holds advanced degrees in weapons design, mechanical engineering, and holds several patents in the field of artificial intelligence research. Current research. As joint chair of the Ares Drone Research of the Ares Asia Drone Research Laboratories, Dr. Hardingham's duties are primarily related to the research and development of new artificial intelligence solutions that will keep Ares machinery technology competitive in this rapidly changing world. While the specific work of the Drone Research Laboratories is classified, previous efforts have been centered around self-repairing machinery, robotic game theory, and collective machine learning. Dr. Taylor P. Taylor _P, AresAsia.hkcentral.hkfez, Drone Automation Division, Floor 27. Dr. Taylor has transferred to the Hong Kong offices of Ares Asia Holdings from his previous post in London with Ares Europe. Dr. Taylor's research focuses primarily on drone weapons technology, although previous work has centered on cryogenics technology and the impact of the matrix on social structures and human development. Current research. Dr. Taylor is joint chair of the Ares Asia Drone Research Laboratories with Dr. Ian Hardingham. Current projects include expansion of the Hangzhou Bay tidal power system, a proposal to expand the Hong Kong MTR maintenance program, and further research into machine learning. You slip the data chip into a port on the public terminal and let the worm go to work. After several seconds, the chip flashes green. Now, Ares Asia Holdings records show that Golden Fong has visited on several occasions in the past. This office computer doesn't appear to be fully locked. It rests on an info page about Ares Asia Holdings. With a little finesse, a Decker could probably get into the user's secured email. Contents of the page consist primarily of marketing jargon, smiling corporate citizens, and a lot of information about the relatively recent incorporation of Ares Asia Holdings. Unfortunately, there's very little value here unless you have an interest in stock photographs and corporate jingoism. Isabel rattles out a few lines of code, and the machine beeps softly. You know, I'd expect Ares employees to be more careful with data security, but I guess nobody's perfect. From inside the machine's secure storage, you can access recent email and recent project updates. Most of this employee's records involve construction projects in and around Hong Kong, but one project, only referred to only as 2231, stands out. Dr. Chen, I'm concerned about the amount of resources you've requested to pursue Project 2231. Particularly because we are Ares Asia Holdings, not Ares America. 2231 is an Ares America project, not one of ours. What explanation can you offer for this request? How can it be justified? Dr. Hui, Ares Asia Finance. I understand your concerns, Director, but you should be aware that all divisions of Ares Macro Technology have been ordered to support Project 2231 where possible. Dr. Taylor and Dr. Hardingham are particularly interested in testing their prototype in support of Project 2231. I am simply requesting enough manpower to find suitable subjects to test the prototype against. Dr. Chung, Ares Asia Research. The risk involved in local research is unacceptable at this time. This is the entire reason the bulk of 2231 related research takes place at Complex 68G, and why 68G is in the middle of the frozen tundra. I would be willing to divert additional engineers for Taylor and Hardingham's project, if they would be willing to create another prototype with the intent of shipping it to Complex 68G. I'll talk to them about it, Director. If you think it's not possible any other way, I'll impress that upon them. Dr. Chen, here is Asia Research. Most of the email is boring. Launch plans, updates on hardware requests, complaints about office lighting, things of that nature. One thread catches your eye, though. Don't know why you're having such difficulty understanding our matrix upgrades, Chung. I've given you the bypass codes for the blocker IC at least 3 times already. Maybe you should write them down or something. Anyway, here they are again. These codes should allow you to bypass the blocker IC on our secure data store. And also for security scheduling. Corporal Quok, Matrix Security Division. Don't sass me, Corporal. I wouldn't be in this situation if you hadn't been promising the Matrix upgrades would be complete next week for the past 6 months. After 4 months of waiting, I stopped thinking about it. Now every time I make a pull request from our depot, the damn IC gets in my persona's face and demands another set of passcodes. Thank you for the bypass codes, though. I'll write them on the back of my hand or something. Dr. Chen, here is Asia Research. No, we don't need anything else. Yeah, Isabel. Need it. Get over there. Data store IC code. GU4 and capital Y, capital U. GU4 NYU. Alright. Got it. Get into cover. Okay, one of those. That. think I screwed up. Get through them. Go. The scheduling database code is ZH4NGF3I. Try again. Now we make our way. Yeah. Did it. Right, going up. Going up. Excellent, Reeve. We have arrived. Raptor straightens himself up, smoothing out the front of his jacket. We should make certain to find the auto repair prototype while we're here. I'm sure it will be around here somewhere. Good, and there won't be too much work to pick it up on our way. Thank you very much for this assistance. Do a hard save here. Ares Asia Directed Energy Weapons Laboratory Annex. Aut viam inveniam aut faciam. Please direct your query. Search for auto repair project. Attention, all information contained herein is considered secret or con. Duplication of files forbidden. Authorized eyes only. Select file. Desert Wars field testing. Ares Europe's given us the go-ahead on entering the Griffin drone prototypes into this season of Desert Wars. Between the auto repair circuitry, the MP laser prototypes, and the self-organizing threat assessment programs, I think we've got a great chance of being one of the standout stars this season. Obviously, we have a lot of work to do between now and the kickoff event, so I'm expecting plenty of crunch time. I know each and every one of you wants this as much as I do. It's hard for me to express how proud I am of this team, and all the hard work you've put in over the past year. If we can pull this off, we're positioned to be one of the biggest teams in security drone hardware in the past 10 years. If we buckle down and put in the hours required, I know we can do it. Go and live at my office. Comes it, get some. Dr. Taylor. Ractor grunts softly. When he speaks, he sounds almost sad. Taylor, how far you've fallen. When we worked together, you'd have never written this kind of limp corporate missive. We all cared enough about our work that we never had to motivate the team like this. He's become a management tool of Ares Macrotech. Without as much left of the passionate young researcher I knew. Think he's lost his edge? Not as such. I believe he's still quite capable as a researcher. But when you spend all of your time managing a budget or organizing a team, what time is left to do the actual work? The reason you got into the field in the first place. No thank you. That is a disgusting world. Self-organization subroutine bugs. Hey Ian, I've been encountering a worrying bug in the latest multi-drone mesh network tests. After checking it, I'm pretty sure it originates in the self-organization subroutines. When the Griffin drones go into self-diagnostic mode and start sharing their telemetry data after field activity, they stop responding to external commands. Even kicking the debugger over to admin main won't stop them. Looks like they're not responding to outside commands because they're identifying activity orders as non-critical in comparison to their attempts to share and learn from each other's telemetry. It's downright spooky. They tried to push me out of the room during one of the tests because one started firing the on-share cleanup base camp function, and the rest just picked up on it. They identified me as an object to be removed from the secure space. The worst part is that the trigger condition was me trying to shut down the mesh network. I don't know, Ian. I don't like the idea of drones making value judgments about administrator orders. I'd like to strip out the self-organization code for future tests until I can debug it. I understand that we're trying to play catch-up with Renraku on the pseudo-intelligence front. But the fallout is, if this bug spreads, it could be pretty catastrophic. Dr. Yan. Wait on the next test. Just a heads up for the team. Hold on further self-organization tests until you get the all clear from me, Taylor, or Yan. There's a bug where the drone network refuses external orders while they're pursuing the self-generated directives. Data sharing, learning, battle examination, etc. It's nothing critical, but it's going to make debugging other systems a pain in the ass until we get it sorted out. General tests are still a go. 10 to 1, they're still using my old code. Sounds like the same kind of bug I encountered during my early tests in Moscow. Ractor runs a hand through his hair, squinting at the computer screen from over his shoulder. The problem is that they're trying to give orders to the drones while the drones have prioritized their own desires over that of the end user. They'll never respond so long as they're in group reflection mode. You're saying the drones don't listen because they're busy with their own work and don't want additional work? In essence, yes. The more complex, pseudo-intelligent drones become, the more we have to learn to convince them that what we've ordered them to do is the best course of action, within reason. Part of the reason the self-correction code exists is to protect against user error. These drones are only doing what they've been designed to do. The deeper I got into data sharing and self-development code, the more I came to realize that it was impossible to build a truly independent drone, a system as simple as weighing order priority. Checking from A to B to C is functional but inelegant. My solution was to create a system of interlocking desires and motivations that shift and change over time. The only overriding principle is that both Koshei and I must work together to solve problems. What would happen if you attacked Koshei? Raptor shoots you a quizzical look as if he didn't understand the question. I would likely miss any shot I took. I've got poor aim, and Koshei is good at taking cover. Assuming I hit it, however, he would ask me why. If I couldn't explain myself sufficiently, Koshei would protect itself. Of course, I do have a universal kill switch, so that wouldn't happen. Can't stinking believe it, John. After spending all that time and money tracking down tickets to the 2016 Neo Tokyo Olympics, the OIC's cancelled them entirely. Some crap about not having enough participants. I guess a ton of countries pulled out in protest over Japan's treatment of metahumans and the way they've handled their holdings in California. I mean, yeah, I'm all for equality, but the Olympics? That's about brotherly love, the spirit of cooperation, and the unity of mankind. Can't imagine anyone using them for such transparently political purposes. It breaks my heart, Dr. Ishiguro. Sure, I was hoping to take a look at your power output test data sometime soon. I'm going to be in and out of the office all day, so just let yourself in and put them on my desk. The code is 98144. Laser laboratory shutter controls. Shutters must be closed during energy admittance testing. Failure to close shutters is grounds for immediate disciplinary action. There's a small note attached to the panel. Shutter controls are also currently closing the security room shutters. Talk to maintenance about it, they haven't had a chance to fix it yet. So bear in mind, when you close the shutters for laser testing, security cannot respond, as the side door auto locks. Make sure nobody goes in or out of the main lab while the shutters are down. User Taylor B. After a few moments, the data chip's light flashes green, indicating data has been uploaded. Project records. Security briefing. Last week, Knight Errant officers responsible for the security of this facility received several reports of suspicious activity in the public area of the building. At 13:31 last Tuesday, security footage shows a troll, approximately 20 to 28 years of age, entering the public mezzanine area of the building. The subject was seen attempting to gain access to restricted areas. The subject exited the facility before Knight Errant could intercept and question him. Reports from area citizenry indicates the subject was asking about research labs working on directed energy weapons. Several hours later, the subject was seen re-entering the building from the side entrance wearing a custodial uniform. Knight Errant guards attempted to detain the subject, but during their arrest attempt, both guards were severely injured. Any employee or resident should contact security immediately if they see this troll. Do not attempt to detain him or interact with him in any way. The subject is considered highly dangerous. There is a note attached from the Knight Errant security. Dr. Taylor, it has come to our attention that you have not been treating this threat with the seriousness we believe it deserves. Please remember that the safety of your person and your research is not solely your concern. A strike against you is a strike against all of Ares macro technology. When engaging in off-site entertainment from now on, we would request that you travel with a group. Thank you. I've had to change the emitter and focusing array on our latest MP4 Redline prototype. Prior to this, we were using the same emitter array as the MP Laser 3, since it's a proven design. Unfortunately, that array is too large to continue using at this point, and there's legacy software that we need to update. The largest problem is that our outer lens is 3mm too large for our new housing. In light of that, I've commissioned 20 new focusing arrays. They've been manufactured in Detroit, but should arrive next week at the latest. The fabrication technique is the same type that we acquired from Zeiss last year. It should give us superior beam coherence, even in high dust and fog situations. Hey. Alright, we've got some ads going on, so we'll take a short break while they're doing their thing. Alright, and we're back from the ads. Just 1 second. Alright, prior emitter research. Personal notes on MP Laser 1 research. I've been going back through the files from Ares Arms research on the original MP Laser. A lot of the work was done by one Dr. Elliot Mills Fargo. Unfortunately, Mills Fargo is dead. From what I can gather, his son killed him during a drunken argument. What's curious is that most of the research files have been heavily redacted. It's all very curious. It's almost as if Ares Arms doesn't want anyone to know anything about the initial research. It's very curious, given that we're all supposed to be working toward the same thing, aren't we? From what I can gather, Mills Fargo had a radically different design philosophy than Hardingham and I. Most of Mills Fargo's notes didn't indicate he was primarily interested in purely vector solution fiber lasers, rather than our own dye-doped matrix technology. From what I understand, that's also the basis for Winter Systems' own attempts at a man-portable laser solution. I can't find any evidence of how they would have had developed that technology without access to Mills Fargo's work, though. Curious. You killjoy. Cannot believe you. Did you tattle on me to Knight Errant saying I'd blown off the security brief and ran to go drink alone? Shush, I'm a senior researcher, not a bloody prisoner. If I decide to go have a drink on my own, that's my business. Besides, Central and Admiralty are both crawling with police any hour. They're AAA secure, for God's sake. Listen, H, I really do hear what you're saying about security, and I promise I'm not taking it lightly. I was thinking we could head up to Pawn after the meeting tomorrow. I've got 8 or so takers from the lab, and Knight Errant promised to loan us a low-profile bodyguard that makes sure nothing goes awry. How's that sound to you? They changed your door code while you were out on vacation. The chips got a little fried when someone forgot to close the shutters in the laser lab when they were testing one of the new emitters. It's 23847. Each one of the researchers downstairs hit me up in a meeting about supporting something called Project 2231. It's headquartered in the Algonquin Manitou Council, some godforsaken black site called Complex 86G. I guess it has something to do with that debacle in Chicago. Research into cleaning up the CEZ and whatnot. I thought it'd be nice if we could give them a hand. Just lend them a prototype or the specs. Let them test the laser out there. Seven. Project records. Power output. Preliminary reports aren't good. Can miniaturize the aperture and emission array from the MP Laser 3, and it's definitely possible to get down to a handheld size, but that's never been a problem. Energy density is the core concern. The batteries just aren't up to snuff if we shrink them down to pistol size. Without the MP3's Laser 3's battery pack, we'll be lucky if we ever find a way to break 6 or 7 shots. It's a terrible problem, and one the boys over in materials science have been dragging their feet on. I've been checking into using some of the new dual-phase batteries, but the cost seems prohibitive. We've made a note to Dr. Hui asking if we could get some help from Ares Arms Europe. The Firelance research team's made a great deal of headway using staged graphene capacitors. Maybe there's something we could learn from them. It's the same thing as before. Dr. Hardingham, it's our belief that the troll we recorded is interested in the research you and Dr. Taylor are undertaking. As such, we will be providing extra security for your offsite team building exercise. Please be extremely careful when not within the facility. Your research and person are under threat at the moment. Things proceed apace, assuming a standard medium drone like the Inquisitor or Rover 9230 models. The drone provides sufficient power to enable the prototype effectively unlimited bursts, though there's a 30-second charge time if the capacitors are drained rapidly. The small size of the emitter lens also means that the prototype can be mounted modularly or internally as the platform dictates. For smaller drone sizes, the output is more restricted but still valuable. Charge times increase to between 2 and 5 minutes assuming standard battery power. This does, however, unfortunately reduce the drone's loader time. Each shot reduces the loader time by approximately 2.5 minutes. More than enough for a sustained engagement, but something we'll want to keep an eye on. I believe we can increase efficiency in these cases by including a supercooling medium, liquid nitrogen or the like, to reduce the heat pump's draw from the power systems. Maybe something like we worked out for the Sentinel P series berths. Killjoy. Taylor, I don't think you're taking the security breach seriously enough. A bloody troll tried to waltz into the building not just once, but twice. He beat up some of the bully boys downstairs, and he's definitely after our work. If you want to waltz off to the pub like nothing's happened, let's go in a group, man. Listen, I don't know how you managed to beat me in that last game, but I know you're cheating. All of the data checks out. But I can't believe your aim suddenly gotten so much better than mine. When I find out what hack you cooked up, you're going to owe me 15 million. Either that, or your characters are all going to be wearing bright green lime costumes from now on. Dr. Taylor, we appreciate your concern about the threat neutralization system leaking from your office air vent. Your safety and the safety of the lab are our topmost priorities. Until we can get maintenance into expected valve, you can access the security control for Vent 3 via the Matrix. The blocker IC code is C0RT3X capital FRZ. Should any further leaks occur, please contact us again. Okay Taylor, you've gotten 8 people and a bodyguard together for a pint or two after we have our meeting. I'm game. Sorry about being so testy earlier. I just don't relish the idea of being beaten to a bloody pulp by some trog with an interest in my research. This server cluster handles the local records and systems for floor 27. Undoubtedly, the building-wide systems back up this data. Hey Millie, posture check. Hydrate. And a stretch. How are you doing, Millie? Undoubtedly, the building-wide systems back up this data, but anything occurring here will be fed to the larger Ares servers. This makes it a perfect place to upload the worm and faked camera footage. A few moments later, the chip flashes a green light indicating that camera records from floor 27 will now shift. Footage of Golden Fong meeting with Dr. Taylor and hiding him. The stillness of the Ares lab woke up and legs are still sore. Bang. The stillness of the Ares laboratory is suddenly rent by the unmistakable sound of an explosion. The floor trembles beneath your feet and dust falls from the ceiling tiles. As the echoes of the blast recede around you, the distinctive smell of atomized concrete and scorched carpeting wafts in through the vents. Ractor busily taps out some commands on his arm bracer. Cushy whirs and flexes its legs beside him. I am seeing a lot of radio traffic. Whatever that blast was, Ares wasn't expecting it. I think we're about to run fist first into another runner team, Riva. Shit. Isabel shakes her head, balling up her fists. If it's not one thing, it's another. We never catch a damn break. Chin up, Biz. We've had worse luck back when we were kids. This time, we have a hell of a lot of more firepower. With an explosion like that, our window just got a lot shorter. I expect the window may now be closed, and we'll have to break a hole in the proverbial wall in order to get out. We should get to it. The combatants in the next room are quite obviously Shadowrunners. Their gear is mismatched, they wear no uniforms, and the mixture of technical gear and heavy armor indicates they're prepared for anything. The other Shadowrunners huddle up. Their voices are loud enough that you can hear them, even through the glass door. They don't seem to have noticed you yet. Christ on a crutch, that was nasty. The orc wiped sweat from his brow with the back of one hand. Jarl, is that the last of them? Looks like a bull. I see 12 wrecked the stairwell, so we're safe from backup via that route. He hands a canteen to the human woman next to him. Dizzy, how are you doing? Taking a long drink from the canteen, the woman breathes a deep sigh of relief before tossing it back to Jarl. Remind me again why we went to the executive level before getting to the lab? I'm all for a brawl, but pulling 4 knight-errant adepts off of Opti isn't my idea of party. Dizzy points an accusatory finger at the shaman. You, sir, need to practice your martial arts. Opti raises his hands placatingly. We had to go up there, Dizzy. Without the keycards to get into the lab, we're as good as dead. The bull could have hacked the door, but he got his deck slagged after you threw that rig into him, and broke his concentration. Okay. We'll have plenty of blame to place later. Right now, we have to get the hell out of here, nab that prototype, and clear out before they get more soldiers down to this level. Bill tilts his neck to one side and then the other, each time a rippling pop runs down his spine. We've got a job to do, people, so let's get cracking. The runner named Jarl seems to have noticed you, finally. He gestures in your direction. Hey, Bull. It looks like we got some company in the lab. Turning around, the Orc Decker regards you quizzically. Son of a bitch. Guess you guys got here first. Tell you what, we'll come over there and we can talk this over. Bull waves an RFID card at the door, but it only buzzes in denial. He glances at the keycard in irritation, and then he turns his eyes to you. Hey, would you mind letting us in? I'd rather not be trapped in here when the Knight Errant backup arrives. Yeah, okay. Give me a second to open the door. Jarl nods in appreciation once the other team is safely inside the lab. Thanks a lot. We would have been cut apart out there. Never let yourself get backed into a corner, you know? Sounds like something went wrong. Bull's deck got slagged by some sparky IC. He got surprised by a rigger coming out of a hallway. He did a hip throw on him, but his body hit the jack point Bull was using. Some kind of surge hit it. The system went to red alert. Before we knew it, the Knight Errant was crawling all over us. Rookie mistake, honestly. But set up a redundant signal filter. I'd have had an extra second when the jack got fritzed. As it was, I tripped some tar baby IC, and before I could get free, the system was lit up like a Christmas tree. Ractor gives you a significant look. He speaks quietly so that only you can hear. That key he used is almost certainly for the private safe layer, keeping the auto-repair circuitry where you need it. Bull abruptly bursts into laughter. I know you're trying to be quiet over there, but I can totally hear you. Bull tosses you the key card. Here, take the damn card. It's worthless to me. Just help us get out of here in one piece. Thanks. Jarl spends a few moments scrutinizing you when his face suddenly lights up. Wait a minute, I recognize you. You're Reaver, right? Your name's all over the shadows of Hong Kong. From what I hear, you've been doing a lot of work for Kindly Cheng. Oh, damn. Blinking a few times, Dizzy looks you over. There's a touch of awe in her voice when she speaks. I didn't expect to run into such heavy hitters on our first run out here. You have me at a disadvantage. Who are you? I'm Dizzy. The guy with the rifle is the Jarl. Dizzy stage whispers at you, cupping a hand next to her mouth. We try not to use the definite article. It sounds silly. Jarl, or the Jarl, whichever, is nonplussed by Dizzy's antics. It's a title, Dizzy. Deserves a "the" before it. Dizzy gestures at the shaman and the orc. Those two are Opti and Bull, magic and tech support. So, you ever heard of us? Little, yeah. You operate mostly in the UCAS, right? Yeah, I'm from all over. Don't really stay in one place much. The other three are all from the Great Lakes area. Ruefully, Jarl glances at the rest of his team. This was supposed to be an easy trip overseas for us. Do this job, maybe 2 or 3 more, and fly home. Jarl puts one finger to his ear, cocks his head, and listening intent. After a moment, he lets out a string of half-hearted curses. We're running out of time. We've got to move, and soon. Not so fast. What about the prototype? Bull shakes his head and snorts crudely. We can argue about this here, or we can try and get out of here before we get killed. If it makes you feel better, you hang on to it until we get out of harm's way. Isabel shifts back and forth on her feet. She nods her head impatiently. Yeah, fine, whatever. Listen, what's your way out? We're going to rappel over to the Federated Boeing building next door. But with all of the racket, I think we'd probably get shot off the line. Come with us. We're taking the elevator shaft to a collapsed MTR station. I didn't even know that was there. Should have done better legwork before we got here. Bull reloads his pistol, snapping it back into the holster with a loud click. We'll follow. More guns couldn't hurt, right? You lead the way, we'll be right behind you. Suddenly there is a blare of alarms. Red lights click on overhead as an accompaniment to the noise. They're gassing us. Look over there. It's coming out of that vent. If my deck wasn't fried, I'd be able to jack in and stop it. Hope you brought a deck or some drones. If you haven't. We've got to get out of here, and fast. Activate crochet. Get over there. Alright, we're good. That's a little less good. Nice.
Yahoo!
Hey, Omega. How we doing? Yo, welcome Raiders. How's everybody's day going? Yes. Alright, there goes some guys. No, but welcome everybody. How's Shin Megami going? Oh. Yep. There we go. But welcome Raiders. I am Dark Raver 40. I play games. Screwed up a bit at the end by fusing away your strongest demons, but it happens. Definitely got my money worth out of that ability. Yeah, right now we're playing some Shadowrun Returns. We're doing a... Oh, I don't like that. Mage I don't like. Good. Now, I'm fighting a bunch of guards. Oh, I forgot about this guy. This is good. And that last event is... I think it's in there. And you've got a heal. That's... that works. Yeah, stand right there. Good. And reload. Comes in and show my fist. Get that. Swiping the key card across the slot, the safe lets out a beep and the light flashes green. As the door swings open, the contents are revealed. A stack of chips and a plexiglass cube containing a tangle of drone parts. With a deft grab, you scoop up the goods. 7 streak. Congratulations. Rector peers intently at his bracer as he scans the room with it. I think that's the last of the security on this floor, but it won't be long before reinforcements arrive. Be sure to notice when the soldiers stop checking in. You think they've figured out what we're after? They'll be right on top of us if they have. Doubtful. Unless Taylor or Haddingham was in the lab, the rank and file Knight Errant guards won't have security clearance to know what projects are being developed. Still, we should move quickly. The elevator doors refuse to open. Some kind of manual lock is engaged. A blinking alert message reads, "Elevator in transit. Doors will unlock once elevator passes floor 27. Looks like you won't be able to pry them open for a minute or two. Better hunker down. And we got a guy behind us. Couple of guys. Bacchus. Let's get out of here. Pungent smells of musty stone, grease, and the remnants of Nero stun gas mix in your nostrils as you rappel down the elevator shaft. Whatever frustrated knight-errant security officers are in pursuit are too far away to be heard. All around you, there is only darkness and the occasional red-hued maintenance light. As you reach the bottom and pry open the heavy elevator doors, light comes flooding into the shaft. With any luck, you're only minutes away from the MTR station, and with it, freedom. You exit the service elevator and step out into the dimly lit basement. You hear no sounds of alarms, nor shouting, but it's only a matter of time before the knight-errant catches up with you. Basement smells of mold and stale air. Faint vibrations run through the floor and walls every few moments. Evidence of MTR trains passing nearby. That was closer than I'd have liked. Phew. Dizzy hunches over, hands on her knees as she pants excitedly. She straightens as she calms down. Chalk that up on things I don't want to do again. Get gassed while trying to escape from knight-errant. Buck up, Dizzy. At least your fists and feet could hurt those bastards. I swear to God, I'm never running against Ares again unless I've got an assault cannon with me. The old 6-gun just won't cut it against knight-errant. Just bring from some APDS rounds, man. You don't need to overcompensate that much. So what now? Just march through the basement into the central MTR station? One step at a time. Knight-errant will definitely follow us down here. Before we head off into the unknown, what are we going to do about the prototype? You need it for your job, I need it for mine. You aren't the only ones who need it. You aren't the only one who needs it. We have a job to finish underlay just like you do. It's unfortunate we both get what we want. But that's how life is some days. You suck it up and move on. Come on, you're well established. You've got a network of contacts. The runner community knows how reliable you are. I'm just a little fish in a big pond. Yeah, I blow this job, I may not be able to work in Hong Kong again. Hell, you don't even need the prototype, just a damn GPS unit on it. I don't like it either. Maybe we can work something out. Thanks, I mean it. I don't like the idea of cheating on a job, but we're on the same team here. We both have to live and work in the same environment. How about this? We take the laser, you keep the GPS, and nobody's the wiser. And I'll owe you one. You call it in, I'll help you out. We'll get friends who can, if I'm tied up. Okay, we've got a deal. Take it. The Jarl takes the prototype from you, detaching the GPS tracker and handing it back to you. Excellent. I'll make sure nobody hears about this deal, at least not on my end. So what now? You want us to leave, or can we stick with you until we get to the MTR station? No sense in dividing our forces. Come with us. That sounds good to me. Lead the way. Now we sneak around. A piercing howl cuts through the silence of the empty station. It's distant, but probably won't be for long. Better move and move quickly. Gobbet turns to face you, planting a hand firmly on each hip. She's grinning like a maniac. We barge into an Ares facility, shoot up the staff, steal a laser, and now they're chasing us through a cave with guard dogs. We are so awesome. Stash. This control panel seems to connect to the backup generators powering the disused section of the old central MTR station. The readouts indicate the backup batteries have sufficient power to keep the lights on, but the remainder of the power is devoted to operating secondary doors. If you turn this off, you could prevent Knight Errant forces from getting in, except from the way you came. With a whine, the generators spin down and the lights go dim. And then you go over there. And out we go. Good enough. As you move through the MTR station, several figures move to interrupt your advance. The leader is obvious, a hulking brood of a troll. cradles a heavy assault rifle in the crook of his sober arm and reeks of stale cigarettes and casual brutality. The name Steeltooth is stenciled across the flak vest beneath his jacket. His eyes narrow as you approach. That's far enough for you, punk. Steeltooth gestures toward you with the barrel of his gun, taking a drag from his cigarette. My crew's had a long night. Nerves a little raw, you know? And crunching somebody's face always brightens my mood. Let me speak in small words so you don't misunderstand. He takes a long drag on his cigarette, exhaling the smoke through his nose. Give us the prototype laser or we're gonna kill you so hard your ancestors feel it. That's the best insult you could come up with? Really? Steeltooth's face twists up in annoyance. Go with you, little woman. You think you're so smart. Let's see how smart you are with a bullet in your skull. His voice is like gravel over sheet metal. Gilbert rolls her eyes, waving a dismissive hand at Steeltooth. Listen, we're all super impressed by the size of your gun, really. But we're not really inclined to give anything to a dumb thug like you. Adults are talking, little girl. Once they're done, maybe you'll be able to run along home and play with your dollies. Until then, shut the hell up. Troll takes one last drag from his cigarette before spitting the butt out onto the tiled floor. Alright, cigarette's done, which means your time's up, and I'll hand over the prototype. Now. You must be the genius Ares caught breaking in twice, in one night. What are you talking about? Don't be stupid. The troll's shifting stance and wary eyes indicate the depth of his ability to lie. About the same as a puddle. You came in the front door first, and then you came back dressed as a janitor. Hey, shut up, okay? Just shut up. I was doing the legwork. And the suits weren't telling me nothing, so I had to get in and root around a bit, you know? Steeltooth is becoming increasingly agitated. You want to keep your arms? You don't tell anybody about that. Well, I'm not giving you a damn thing. Oh, I see. You want to be a hard case, is that right? Fine. The troll lifts his rifle, sneering down the barrel at you. Light 'em up. Boom. Any... Nope. Alright, Director. Bring Koshi into the fray. Alright, Steeltooth is down. Get over there. MTR train awaits. With it, the promise of safety and freedom from any more unforeseen complications. The Jarl nods in appreciation, extending a hand to you. Thanks for all the help tonight. I don't know if I'd been able to get out of there without you. The world's better off with people like you in it. What will you do now? He shrugs and grins. The usual. Make a handoff, get paid. Probably take a few more jobs out here. Got lots of debts to pay off, you know? Nothing's free in this life. You keep safe out there, okay? We all better stick together. If we don't, we end up with bullets in our back. Take care, y'all. Alright, we got some ads. So we'll leave Healy. And yeah, we're almost done with the ads. And we're back from the ads. Yay. All right. One sec. Okay. Okay. The MTR train pulls away from the station. You become lost in the crowd. Just another face traveling from Central toward Calvin. Every second puts blessed distance between you and the hornet's nest of knight errant soldiers you've left in your wake. With the data planted and the GPS module in your possession, it seems certain that Ares Asia will place blame for your run at the doorstep of the Red Dragon Association. Loss of the prototype laser is unfortunate, but allies are often more valuable than gear, especially in the shadows. With any luck, they'll be able to pay you back soon enough. Your comlink chirps and kindly Cheng's rusty voice slides through the speaker. You can hear the sounds of mahjong players laughing in the background. It's Auntie Cheng, dear. You've been gone a while, Auntie. I wondered when you were coming back. I'm here now, and I have a present for you, little one. She sounds like a big cat sitting triumphant on the carcass of a wildebeest beast. I have a lead on the location of the plastic-faced man. The man we saw in the surveillance footage meeting Raymond Black at the tea house on the docks. Where is he? Not on the comm. Come see me and we'll talk. I got a new action point. Yay! Ooh, and everybody else got a level up. Take Devil Rat Spirit Fetish. Take that. Take Lethal Force. Take Predator. Best to use a boat. Jobs directory. Claim payment. Your payment is attached. I confess that I am very pleased with your work. It's not every runner who could have pulled off a job of this magnitude. Well done. No pending. All my active jobs. Where's Duncan? Oh, is everybody at the parlor? Alrighty. Yep, they're all here. Currently, Ching is in the midst of emptying 2 plastic shopping bags when you enter. She places the contents in a pile on her mahjong table. 2 liquor bottles without labels, a box of her thin black cigars, and an assortment of individually wrapped gourmet chocolates, and a large caliber pistol with electrical tape wrapped around its grip. Ah, good. You're here. She finishes with the plastic bags and throws them onto the floor. It seems like forever since we saw each other. Welcome back. Was your trip worthwhile? Her voice fills with a rusty energy. Yes, my darling, yes. I met with several contacts within my network who referred me to others in my neighboring cities. Regardless of how far technology moves forward, tradition demands that some things be handled face to face. I have returned with information that will lead you to the plastic-faced man, the man who killed Raymond Black. Excellent. While you were gone, we uncovered a relationship between Josephine Seng and Raymond Black. The triad woman's eyes narrow. Did you? And what was it that you uncovered? He's fiction. Made up. His real name is Edward Sang. Fiction, eh? Her brow furrows. Josephine's son, Edward. So, that explains where he went when he disappeared years ago. Seattle. Any idea why he disappeared? No, just that he went missing after Josephine completed rebuilding the walled city. That was in the early 30s. Her face twists into a mask of disgust. You realize what this means, don't you, my sweet? That inbred little goat whore was cold enough to have her own son executed. Even more reason to find the plastic-faced man? What have you found out? Everything you need to move forward. She grabs a bottle and opens it. I know the identity of the plastic-faced man. His name is Li Tai Long, and he's an independent contractor. A trusted, deniable asset who handles all of Josephine Seng's more delicate operations off the books and away from the public eye. The plastic-faced man is her shadowy right hand outside of the corporation. Cheng doesn't bother with a glass. She takes a long pull off the stinking bottle and wipes her mouth with the back of her hand. And I know how to find him too. I've made contact with an information broker, Xiao Xi, who operates out of an abandoned night market in Shek Kip Mei called Xing House Court. It's not hard to find. She takes another pull on her bottle. Xiao Xi has gained access to the plastic-faced man's complete itinerary. Where he'll be, who he'll be with, what sort of security he'll have, the works. She grins glassy-eyed. You can use it to perform an extraction. Grab him and find out what he knows. Got it. Go to Shek Kip Mei, look for a night market called Xinghouse Court, and find an information broker called Jiazi. Yes, it's all very straightforward until it's not. Li Tailong has designed himself to be the perfect corporate operative. He's installed a unique piece of headwear, you see. It allocates and compartmentalizes client-related memories so that they can be erased upon completion of a job. As an added security measure, this cortical implant will wipe his memory if it detects that he's been captured. So we need a way to circumvent the implant. Exactly. Unless you can find a way around the cortical implant, you'll have no way to extract the information he has and figure out what happened to Raymond Black. She circles the mouth of the bottle with her finger. Now, I've done my part in this, my darling. You need to find a way to neutralize that device. Isabel interjects, her voice breaking slightly as she speaks. I know a way. I've heard of something like this before. I met someone in the Matrix who had to shirk a similar memory wipe implant once. It was a requirement for a big job and she pulled it off. Keep talking. Her handle is Dreamland, and I know where to find her. All that we have to do is convince her to give up the secret of how she did it. Okay, Isabella and I will go see Dreamland before we hit the information broker. Then we grab the plastic-faced man. No matter who you choose to help you snitch this guy, I'm gonna be there when you extract the information from him about Raymond. Wu crosses his arms across his chest and tilts his head toward you. You got it, Anna. We should all be there. Gobbert's eyebrows arch high. You know that I want to see this. Very good, my darlings. Now listen to me. After you get what you need from the plastic-faced man, I want you to end him. You understand? Triad Boss taps the table with her finger. I need to send a very clear message that this is what happens when you mess with Kindly Cheng's operations, with Kindly Cheng's people. Josephine takes Nightjar, I take Plastic-Faced Man. Once you snatch the Plastic-Faced Man, Sang will know something is happening, and events will unfold very quickly after that. You best close out any pressing business you have before heading to Shik Kip Mei to see Zhaoxi. Do you understand? Once I snatch the plastic-faced man, I turn off the lights in the Shadowrun store and lock the door. Check. Such a colourful way of saying it. Kindly Cheng raps on the mahjong table with an imitation ivory tile. Just be sure your affairs are in order before you head to see the information broker. We've got a few more tasks to do. I think we've done everything else that's karma. Any thoughts about this last run? I think that went pretty well. There aren't a lot of runners who can say they went up against Ares and came out ahead. Sure, maybe the job could have gone a little smoother, but how are we supposed to account for another runner team showing up? Adaptability, Seattle. That's what makes a good runner. Always go with your instincts. I think you made the right call giving those guys the laser. I mean, sure, who doesn't like lasers? But would another gun really make that much of a difference for us? That team sounded like the kind of people who won't forget a debt. Sometimes the difference between living and dying, who you can call in a pinch. I don't remember how many jobs I've done with Goblet. You went to Isabel's cabin to find her jacked into the octopus. This isn't helping. The avatar frowns down on you, a look of supreme disillusionment on its face. I'm decking. I'm in my safe place and it doesn't help. The memories are just as painful here as they are in the real world. Your memories are a part of you. Decking doesn't make you leave that behind. No, I guess that it doesn't. White plumes of static flow from the avatar's fists. She's shaking. It fucking should, though. I can't handle not having a way to escape this. What are you going to do about it? I don't know, okay? Just don't. You know what? Hang on. The avatar winks off the screen, and the terminal powers down. Isabel's body shudders. A familiar tremor. Her consciousness is flooding back out of the matrix and into her meat. Her eyes flutter, and she takes a sharp breath. Slowly, shakily, she rises from her perch on the floor. You're here with more questions, right? She coughs into the crook of her arm. Wipes her nose with her sleeve. I'm sure that you are. Why else would you be bothering me? So spit them out and I'll go digging around that cesspit I call a memory. Who knows? Maybe we'll find a clue. I know that you're hurting, Isabel. If venting helps, go ahead. She takes a deep breath, makes a visible effort to calm herself. No, that wasn't like me. This isn't the person that I want to be. I'll be okay. I can handle this. Just ask me your questions, okay? Let's get this ball rolling. I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. Mostly because with Ares, the alternative is living in a body bag. Especially when you're stealing a prototype laser. Good pay for a night's work. Good night's work. And that's what this business is all about. If you can walk away and get paid, it's been a good job. Kinda wish we'd kept the laser. Because hey, it's a laser. That's awesome. But you did the decent thing, really. You helped those runners out, let them keep their rep, and both of us could get paid. It's a good quality in a team leader, and I'm glad to have got you running the show. Gobbet told me about your escape from the walled city, just like you said she would. Yeah? I'm not surprised. Why are you telling me about it? Because the answers she gave raised more questions, and you want me to answer them for you. Alright, Reva, maybe I can satisfy your curiosity. The walled city was a hellhole, but you already know that. But for all of its failings, it was a good teacher. It taught me to hide, to stay small and unnoticed and insulated, to survive. It taught me that the fish on the perimeter of the school get eaten, that sticking your neck out is a fool's errand, but that even fools can have their uses. It also taught me to recognize a stronger person when I met one, and how to use that strength to my own benefit. So when I met Gobbet, I knew she had something that I didn't. Her magic, you mean? She nods, and her connection to Ra, and her willingness to risk her own neck on a whim. We were different people then, still are now. But the differences were even more pronounced than when we were kids. Care to elaborate on that? Gobbet was playful and carefree. She could hold her own on a scrape, but she mostly saw life as a game. As for me, well, I knew that it wasn't. I couldn't have been more than 9 or 10 at the time. But even at that age, I saw Gobbet for what she represented, what she could be. And what was that? My own personal road out of the walled city. Path to freedom disguised as a little girl with dreadlocks. And as it turned out, I was right. She pauses, her eyes flit to the ground, and she tightens her hands into her fists. Ever since I unlocked these damned memories, I can't get 10 minutes without thinking about what might have happened if I hadn't followed Gobbet out of that place. It's like a vicious cycle, running over and over in my head. I hate it, but it won't stop. I feel guilty. Thank you for the stretch. You needed help and you took it. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Gives me another reason to feel grateful to her, I guess. That's something. I've always known that I owed Gobbet, but now I remember why, how much, and why. Anyway, that's my side of the story. Hope that satisfied your curiosity. Now let's move on. Why did you have your memories locked away? Why do you think? They were awful, traumatic. I'm not talking about personal trauma here. I was fortunate enough to avoid the fates of many of my peers. I didn't get pressed into service into a brothel. The organ luggers didn't get me. I only had to watch one of my siblings die, she frowns. So yeah, could have been worse. But that doesn't make an early life in the walled city any easier to bear. Hang on, you watched one of your siblings die? Yes, my older brother, Cabdali. Heroin overdose. He was 19, almost the same age that I am now. Sorry you had to watch that. Me too. You want to hear something awful? I almost envied him. He got out easy compared to a lot of people who die in the walled city. There was no violence, he wasn't taken by organ luggers or gunned down by the triads. He just put a spike in his arm, depressed the plunger and stopped breathing. Quick and easy. You could have done the same, but you didn't. You were stronger than that. I survived. I don't know if that's something to feel proud of. It's just what I did. I don't think any less of Cabdale for doing what he did. I don't even know if he did it on purpose. But his death was a lesson, and I did my best to learn from it. Everything that happened in my childhood was that way. A lesson in disguise. Lessons about impermanence and the random cruelty of life. Lessons about what a huge mistake it is to get attached, and how to prioritize your own survival no matter what. Those lessons were important, they kept you alive, but it's just as important to know when to leave them behind. She nods. Yeah, I know, but I'm having a hard time with that right now. We all carry the same scars, you and me, in Gunshell and Gobbet. Some run bigger and deeper than others, but we've all got them. Her voice goes small. I don't want mine anymore. Abruptly, she turns away. And that's enough of that? Ask me something else, Riva. I don't want to talk about this anymore. There was a man here in Hayoi who was ranting about the Yama Kings. His hair had gone white with fear, and I watched him die. She nods miserably. Yes, it happened when I was a kid too. Not often, but occasionally. People would have bad dreams, and then become obsessed with them, consumed by their own dread. When I was a kid, we viewed it as a kind of local malady, dream madness. It mostly affected people with other problems, dementia, paranoia, phobias, that kind of thing. And so people would just shrivel up and die because of the dreams? Basically, but like I said, it didn't happen often. I remember one old woman, Auntie Wei Kuyong. She had skin like parchment paper, and she baked egg tarts for the neighborhood kids. We liked her, she was good. One day, Auntie Wei Kuyong didn't come out of her apartment. She was always up and about by 6 or 7 in the morning, but it was part of her routine. For her to sleep past noon was unthinkable. Naturally, the grown-ups assumed that she'd passed in the night. She was old and frail, it was bound to happen sooner or later. So a neighbor, Mr. Ejide, went in to check on her and collect the body. What did he find? She wasn't dead. What he found was much worse than that. She pauses, looks you in the eye. Oral surgery wasn't involved. You don't want to hear the rest. Yes, I do. You recovered these memories for us. The least I can do is to listen to them. Alright, your call. Auntie Wei Kyung had been busy that morning. She'd put her nice skills to work on her own tongue. Carved it out, plated it, and ripped out most of her teeth for garnish. She'd bitten down on a coal from the fireplace to keep from bleeding out. And you think the dream made her do this? Yes. She did what she did to protect herself from Jianya. How so? The old stories all said that Jianya would claim you as a slave by tying your tongue into a knot. No tongue, no slavery. The old lady didn't want to take any chances. Unfortunately for Mr. Ejide, she didn't want him to take chances either. She was a sweet old thing, always looking out for her neighbors. Thanks to the dreams, she knew what was at stake. She wanted to help. The other adults didn't make it into Auntie Wei Kyung's apartment in time to save Mr. Ejide's jaw. It was hanging by a thread by the time they got there. She'd always had a steady hand with a cleaver. Did he live? Yes, but I think he wished that he hadn't. Replacing a jaw is expensive, and Mr. Ejide had no money. He had to settle with a life of miserable silence, hiding the wound in his face and slurping broth through a tube. As for Auntie Wei Kyung, she suffered an aneurysm, dropped dead as the grown-ups were trying to get her to what passed as a clinic in the Mansion District. She died with a smile on her face. She knew that her soul was safe. That's all for now. Gotta go. I think I'll have to take Gaichu on several more missions with me as well. My friend, you have done an admirable job. An admirable job indeed. I've already incorporated the technology that you recovered, my stolen tech, into a new chassis that I am fabricating for Koshai. Glad to be of help. You will be, my friend. He tips his cigarette. A cone of burning embers tumbles to the ground. Very glad indeed. Next time we take to the field, you can expect to find Koshai's combat effectiveness considerably improved. He has become truly deathless, just as his namesake was in the legends. When he takes damage, he will mend himself before your eyes. That sounds incredible. Can't wait to see it in action. Nor can I, my friend. He turns back to the wearing machines that fill his shop, watching their progress with hunger in his eyes. Nor can I. Any thoughts about that last run? Ah, most wonderful outing. Excellent. I have my research back, my prototypes returned, all thanks to you. Oh, I suppose that I could complain of Taylor and Hardingham's absence. I would have greatly enjoyed commanding Crochet to feed them their own entrails. But this is a small matter. I have my research, and I will catch up with them soon enough. Your choice to give away the laser prototype that we discovered confuses me, though. Why did you bother? We didn't owe that other team anything. We were there first, and we were the ones who found the device. He waves away the thought. Ah, but it doesn't matter. A small thing, my friend. A trifle. A laser is nothing compared to my research. I am in your debt. Hello again. How may I help you? See you later, Gaichu. Alright. Gonna stock up on some more gear. If I can get a new gun, that would be great. Ermeline, what do you got for me? I wouldn't mind getting my hands on one of those. $3,500. Have to wait for another mission. Let's make that 4. Alright, Ellie. And we won't do another mission yet. Ambrose looks exhausted. He's staring blankly, a glass of amber whiskey next to him. Engine parts litter the floor of the operating theatre. Hey, River, big typhoon on the way in. Better batten down the hatches. A robot arm swings over for him to take a weary drag from a cigarette. It's gonna be a kicker. Alright. What's the deal with the typhoon? Yeah, it's your first typhoon, isn't it? Typhoons grow out in the Pacific, then come crashing into the coast. The biggest ones hit Category 7. Real monsters. Unreal. Ambrose swills his whiskey disconsolately. This one's just a big wet huffer. Streets are gonna flood. Aircraft will be grounded. This one's awakened, so get ready for a lot of communications interference. And get your galoshes. It's gonna be wet. He gives you a sidelong glance, a sly look in his eyes. Good time for running in the storms. All that wind and rain obscures surveillance. Curfew clears up the streets. Cops and security contractors are all tied up. We're at sea level here. What will the storm surge do to Haley? Nothing. The sheer angle wall will seal all of Victoria Harbour behind a big concrete breakwater. Shuts down the harbour and keeps the sea level constant. Have you seen the harbour wall activated before? It's a miracle of engineering. It'll stop 2-meter surge with 7-meter wind waves. I'm surprised you're not throwing a typhoon party. Nobody's in the mood for it. I'm not either. These dreams are driving everyone crazy. Takes a big slug of his whiskey. A mechanical arm from the wheelchair absently fills the glass back up. Fortunately, I have special training for dealing with dreams. Bye, Ambrose. Alright, we're not gonna start a new mission yet. I think I've taken a goblet on 3 missions? 3 or 4? So I think I took her at the first one. Um... Okay, data retrieval and restaurant job. I will need to take Goblet with me and Gaichu, regardless. How did you decide on the name Goblet anyway? Nice name. Your mum has good taste. How did you come across Madness and Folly? I looked outside. I mean, they're rats. Hong Kong isn't experiencing a rodent shortage or anything. So you just pick them up off the street. Yep, I think of them as rescue vermin. You could probably do the same if you wanted to. It's easy. Just walk into any alleyway in Kowloon after sundown and stick your hand in the first dumpster or storm drain that you come across. Keep fishing around until you touch fur. I might just have to try that. You probably shouldn't. She continues to brush Folly's coat. Creature chirps happily at her touch. Odds are about 50-50 that you get your hand chewed off. I'd probably feel bad about that. Been running the shadows while. You're still a kid now, Gobbet. What are you, 19? She rolls her shoulders, shrugs. Something like that. Your guess is as good as mine. Doesn't change the fact that I've been doing this for years and you started yesterday. Matter of fact, Seattle, I think that I'm gonna make a project of you. Take you under my wing, so to speak. You need a wizened mentor. Might as well be me. Sure, why not? I could use the advice, and I don't see Isabel volunteering for the job anytime soon. Hearing? Good. Starting the next time you visit, I'm gonna teach you all about being a Shadowrunner. She stifles a yawn. You're gonna benefit from my bountiful experience. Wait and see. I'm looking forward to it. Gobbet stretches, stifles a yawn. Her eyes scurry from her shoulders down to her hips. She taps the simmering pot on the floor with her boot, and the soup inside has been reduced down to a thick, viscous gravy. Near Seattle, this has been a nice chat and all, but it's getting late, and I still have the rest of a hot pot to power through. So without wanting this to get too awkward, she glances toward the door. I could help you with that if you wanted. Thanks, but no thanks. Smirking, she brushes Folly's coat with the knuckles of her left hand. You can go get your outfit. Now would be a good time. Alright, I get it. Talk to you later, Gobbet. Sure, why not? Pop the rubbery wad of flesh into your mouth and chew. Good, right? Your half-repressed memories of dumpster diving in the Barrens dance a merry jig on your brain as the mangled oyster slides down your throat. Yeah, delicious. I wouldn't go that far, but it's seafood and it isn't made of soy. That makes it good in my book. How do you like life here on the Bold Hole? It's fine. Shaping up. Having near roomies is always nice. How are you enjoying your cabin? Comfy enough for you? It isn't half bad. Better than some of the places I squatted back in the Barrens. I've heard stories about the Redmond Barrens. Sounds like a real winner of a place. Kowloon isn't any better, of course, but at least our little slice of home is safe. I'll take the bolt hole over the Barrens any day. And that's the spirit. A lazy smile spreads across her face as fingertips brush Madness's back. The rat squeals and darts back into the safe haven of Gobbett's hair. You know, the Bolt Hole is a pretty mediocre name for a ship. Ever consider changing it? Yeah, sure. Considered it a bunch of times. I never really cared enough to actually do it, though. You want to call her something else? I'm open to it. Let's call her the Kraken. Aye, Captain. The Kraken it is. She nods enthusiastically. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. I think that the others will be happy with it. You said you'd teach me to be a better Shadowrunner. I'm here to collect. But do remember that, do you, huh? I sort of assumed that you'd laugh that off. No dice, wise inventor. You offered, now pay up. Okay, how about this? I'll tell you a story about a run gone bad. You tell me what you'd have done in the runner's place, and then we'll compare notes on your answer. How's that sound? Works for me, I guess. She sweeps a tangled rope of hair out of her eyes, and back over one pointed ear. After a moment of silent contemplation, she bites her lip and nods. Okay, so this is a story from early in my career. I was part of a team here in Hong Kong, but I did some occasional moonlighting for another group based out of Macau. I was a busy kid. Go on. The job was a hit on this tower, sort of a trade multiplex / apartment complex. I'm sure they've got them in Seattle too. You know the kind, 7 huge screens, monster concession stand, coffin apartments on top like barnacles on a whale. Never been to one, but I've heard of them. Good, you know what I'm talking about then. Our client wanted us to break into one of the apartments. The story was that an ex of hers, a guy named Boggs, lived there. She'd been cooped up with him until about a week prior, then things went sour in a big way. She wanted us to get back some things that Boggs kept when he kicked her out. Scare the shit out of him, bloody him up a bit, make it look like a robbery. You know the drill. Standard smash and grab then. Yeah, it was a pretty bush league gig, but the pay was decent enough. Not the sort of thing you'd turn down. So anyway, Sibilance, that was our group leader, had a plan. We knew that we had to go in quiet because the Metroplex had a panic system wired directly to the HKPF. If we'd gone in shooting, we'd have been drowning cops within 10 minutes. Sib thought that we could maybe take advantage of the apartment's terrible soundproofing and kick Boggs' door when the movie got loud. We'd camp out near his doorway, wait for the ceiling to start raining plaster, and then smash our way in with his neighbours none the wiser. Doesn't sound like a bad plan. Well, it had the virtue of being simple, I'll give it that. Still, it didn't stop things from going the way that they did. So we waited in the hall just like Sibilance planned. We had a guy in the elevator, another at the stairs. I was waiting by the floor's communal kitchen. Sib took up a position by the door. She had these cyborgs that she'd dumped a ton of new yen into. Hydraulic jacks, strength enhancements, the works. Girl could probably leg press a dump truck. She pauses for a minute. Come to think of it, most of her plans involved kicking things. There's something a little sad about that. And this woman was the best suited to lead this particular group of runners? Tragically, yes. Everyone else is various shades of amoral or screwed in the head. Sibilance might have had a tendency to solve all of her problems the same way, but she was better than the alternatives. Anyway, we heard a boom from downstairs. Felt the walls shake with the reverb. Sib wheeled back and gave the door a massive kick, just as she planned. From where I was standing, I couldn't really see what happened next. I could hear a massive crack as her boot slammed on into Duraplast. The door flew off its hinges, exploded off might be a more accurate phrase. A second later, we heard an ungodly crash. There was a moment of silence, then Sib let out this little gasp. The apartment was in shambles. It looked like a hurricane had hit it. Everything was trashed. Everything but the door, which was miraculously still in one piece. Thanks for the hydrate, Millie. Hey, Serafina. How we doing? Remember, this was a coffin apartment. It wasn't much wider than the door was to begin with. And Boggs? Well, what was left of him was under that door too. Well, you got the rough him up part, right? Yeah. Unfortunately, he wound up a lot rougher than he was supposed to be. The noise crinkles in discomfort. But that door really did a number on him. Ribs sticking out of the skin, that kind of thing. It was a bloody mess. So yeah, Boggs was dead. The stuff that we'd been sent to his apartment to recover had been smashed to bits. And then the building alarm went off. So that's the situation. Our payday is smashed. My temporary teammates are all standing around with stupid looks on their faces. The cops are coming. I'm standing by the kitchen. She plants her hands on her hips, smiling. What would you have done in my place? I'd have tried to improvise. Was there anything in the kitchen that you could use to resolve the situation? Good thinking. As it happens, there was. And I knew just what to do with it. The thought popped into my head, and I just went with it. She taps her temple with a smile. That's a lesson to remember, Seattle. The first answer that you come up with is almost always the best one you're gonna have. So just roll with it. Don't second guess yourself, don't hesitate, just act. You'll live longer that way. Got it. Now, when I think crowded theatre, I think place where you can't shout fire because it'll cause a panic. And then I thought, cops don't charge into burning buildings. They help people get out of them. And as it happened, I had the means to create a real, genuine fire sitting right across from me. A pair of industrial ovens. Gobbit, I don't think I can imagine an idea much worse than that. No? Well then the joke's on you, because I carried it out fantastically. I opened the gas vents wide, set the range on a timer, and motored back into the hallway. The others had started arguing amongst themselves. I told them to snap out of it and follow me down into the lobby. We have to clear the hallway before an errant spark takes the whole floor out, I said. Sounded pretty reasonable to me. I'm good. I'm just about to finish up for the day. Ooh, that sounds delicious, Millie. It's also very warm today. Unfortunately, the rest of the group wouldn't listen. Sib and the rest of the team were too busy arguing about the relative merits of her "let's kick things really hard and see what happens" tactical system to want anything to do with me. I shouted back to them that the kitchen was going to explode and continued down the hallway. Just like I'd planned, I got out of that run in one piece. So did every single one of the people in that multiplex. My fight plan worked beautifully. If the rest of the team had listened to me, they might have gotten out of the building too. Kind of a bummer that they didn't, but at least the run turned out well for me. How? Well, I couldn't collect any pay because the run had been a disaster. But after the explosion, I got to ride in the front of the fire truck and they gave me cookies and a blanket. I wound up dating one of those firemen a few weeks later. All things considered, Could have gone a lot worse. Goblet claps her hands together and rubs them. A satisfied look on her face. So, Seattle. The laughter disappears from her voice and her expression goes serious. It's like somebody flipped a switch. Suddenly, the look in her eyes is shrewd, calculating. Tell me, what was the moral of this story? What was the lesson I was trying to convey? Go with your gut, I guess? She nods sagely. That's right. Trust your impulses. Don't be afraid to wing it. Almost any action is better than no action at all. Once you've committed to doing something, you've got to follow it through though. No arguing or hand-wringing, just do it. If you get caught up in your own head, agonizing over past mistakes, well, don't be surprised if you wind up dead. Kitchen fire can take you down as easily as a cop's bullet if you stand around and let it. Are you certain that siblings and the rest of the Macau team are dead? She shrugs. They weren't with me when I got evacuated with the rest of the moviegoers. I never saw them leave the building and I haven't heard from them since. I guess it's possible that somebody made it, but I don't really run in those circles anymore. Odds are good that if anyone from the Macau team did survive, they'd have died off by now from sheer incompetence. Shadowrunning is an unforgiving business. You don't get to make too many mistakes. That's all I needed. Thanks, Gobbet. No problem. Sweet dreams. Alright, we're going to organize our next mission, but we're not going to start it. We need to save up for our new gun. We gotta go deal with a guy. Alright, here we are. And that's where we'll call it today. Those two jobs as well. Which means I still need to take Gaichu and Gobbet on at least one more job each before I get their missions. And then I'll probably finish this game first week of January. Or maybe not the first week. Second week of January. I think I'll finish it around the 8th or 9th. But for now, this is my second last stream of 2025. My last one will be tonight with Etrian Odyssey 2. Going to finish up here today. And snooze that. I will be back again. Yeah, I'll be back again later tonight with Etrian Odyssey 2. Maybe we'll finish up that game. That would be fun. And then my plans for tomorrow and New Year's Eve. Basically just hang out on my Discord server and maybe play some games and stuff. Take a trip down memory lane with all the games I've played. Anyway. Take care of yourselves, everybody. Let's go find somebody to go say hi to. Who is live. Let's go with Axel. Alright. take care of yourselves, everybody. If I don't see you again today, have a good New Year. And I'll see you all next year. If not, I'll see you tonight for Etrian Odyssey 2. Bye bye.